What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with 12 weeks out physique update from Krizo and also the official announcement that he's starting his prep for this year's Prague Pro, which is happening roughly 4 weeks after the Olympia this year. Honestly, him skipping the shows after the Nihat Pro this year does not really make any sense, because it isn't like he had months long off season where he could make some very big changes, some very big improvements, especially in his back. I mean, he literally had like 2 months only for this off season, and we can all agree that bringing up such a stubborn muscle group, that is going to take more time than that. So it was very disappointing to hear that Krizo is gonna be missing out on this year's Mr. Olympia, as he skipped the Olympia last year too. And don't get me wrong, it did make sense last year because he was going through that shoulder rehab. But this year, he could have easily won multiple shows if only he chose to stay on the diet, in the prep mod, and compete in shows like Cali Pro and Emperor Classic Spain, which were only weeks after his last show, which was the Nihat Pro. Now, that being said, based on this starting look, Krizo is gonna bring an awesome shape, he's gonna bring a superb conditioning, and so far his run with George Farah as his coach, that has been incredible up until now. And if there is one thing that these guys could have really improved during this past, I'm gonna say very short off season, that would be his mobility, especially in that injured shoulder. And that is gonna allow him to execute the back shots a lot better, more accurately than what we saw at the Pittsburgh Pro and the Nihat Pro. Nevertheless, this is a physique who belongs on the Olympia stage. And if you think about this, the only pros who beat him this year at the Pittsburgh Pro and the Nihat Pro, they are Derek, Nick, Martin, and William Bonac. And all of them are top Olympians. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. The future 212 Mr. Olympia champion Nihat Kaya checking in at 10 weeks out of his first ever Mr. Olympia, and this is gonna be the one to really watch out for, because the man is being considered the biggest threat, not only to Sean Carida for that second place, but possibly the man who can challenge Keon Pearson. So Sean Carida specifically, because we know Sean has been placing second for 2 years in a row now. And I'm gonna say let's just keep Keon Pearson out of this discussion, as the man is in a different league. He is on a whole another level. And all these guys, including Nihat Kaya, in my opinion, they are only fighting for the next best spot, and that is second. Now, every time you look at the physique that Nihat Kaya presented on this past Dubai Pro stage, it is just mind-boggling. And it just goes to show you that this is the best combination of size, aesthetics, and density, especially on a guy who is just 22 years old, and he is possibly gonna have one of the best Olympia debuts of the past decade or so. And this young kid is improving at such a fast pace. Now, it was a very close call between Nihat Kaya and Angel Calderon at Dubai Pro. And Angel, we all know, is skipping the Olympia this year because of a tricep tear. But even if Angel was there, he was competing at the Olympia this year, Nihat would have probably beaten him one more time, as the margin of improvements for Nihat Kaya, they are just way more than Angel Calderon, who has already maxed out for his frame and who is packed with muscles on top of muscles. And the man is already maxed out for that 212 weight cap. So Nihat Kaya is on the same team as Keon Pearson, and that is Patrick Tuor's team. And Patrick did help him achieve tremendous condition at this year's Dubai Pro show. So I think his 2 years transformation, that is probably one of the best we have seen in the last few years, as he went from being natural to a full-blown cycle, and he just blew up like crazy. And I have to say, the man has some insane genetics. Next up, we have an update from Andrew Jager. So all gas and no brakes, all the way till this year's Mr. Olympia. And as a huge fan of Andrew's physique myself, it's only wishful thinking that 2025 is the year where Andrew finally nails it. He comes in at his 100% on this upcoming Olympia stage in about 9.5 weeks time, come October. And the reason I'm saying it's visual thinking is because all the 3 Olympias that Andrew has done so far, this seems like a cursed competition for him, because he just always looks way better at the Arnold or Texas Pro compared to how he looks at the Olympia stage. So this year's Arnold look of Andrew Jager, that could have been pretty damn convincing for him to fight for second place if he had more fullness and more thickness and more pop. Because for some reason, if we compare this past Arnold physique, especially the quads, to his first ever Texas Pro look from back in 2022, he had more wow factor and more fullness in his quads, even back in 2022. Because his quads back then, they looked so bubbly and so 3D. And that is something which was missing on him at this year's Arnold, because they went for a bit more conditioning, and that was at the expense of the fullness and the pop. So at this point, we can confidently say that Andrew isn't a guy who is very easy to peak. He is one of the biggest bodies on the Olympia stage. He probably weighs somewhere in the high 290s on the stage. And the thing that is really concerning when it comes to Andrew Jager, that is the age factor. He started competing very late in his career, and the man is already 40 years old. So this should be the year he puts all the things together and he comes in at his 100%. And I 100% believe that Andrew Jager at his 100%, at his all-time best, he can go all the way to the top. So apparently one of the most anticipated battle in classic physique division this year, that is turning out to be between Logan Franklin versus Matheus Nihat. And even after Matheus losing to Niall Darwin at this past Tampa Pro, his fans are still very confident that he's gonna be Logan Franklin, as he was number 9 in the world last year at the Olympia, while Logan on the other hand, he was top 11. So Logan right now in this update, he's 5 weeks out. Yes, he's competing before the Olympia, and the show that is going for, that is Florida Pro, because he's yet to qualify for the Olympia this year. And this is gonna be very interesting battle, if it actually happens. Because we did not see Matheus at his very best in Tampa Pro. And if he comes in with an improved conditioning and with a better chest, he certainly has a big edge over Logan Franklin, especially from the back. Specifically the width on him, that is crazy. But we are also looking forward to see this new and improved version of Logan Franklin in about 5 weeks time. So it's gonna be very challenging for Logan and Patrick Tuor to replicate that same Arnold Ohio look which we saw in March this year. Because that peak by Logan Franklin, that was absolute perfection, that was 100%, and it just could not get any better than that. So Logan himself, he doesn't even consider Matheus a threat to him, because he thinks he's gonna be up there all the way in the top 3 at the Olympia this year. So let me know what you guys think. Are you excited for this battle if it actually happens? So this picture is the reason why the 4 times Olympia champion Jay Cutler is still one of the most dedicated bodybuilder in the entire world right now, even 12 years after his retirement from pro bodybuilding scene. Look at the depth of his abs, arguably better than an active IFBB pro, Regan Grimes. And not only are his abs superior, but also look at those fibers on his biceps. Only a handful of IFBB pros out there in the men's open, they have such detailed biceps. Definitely one of the most inspiring personalities in the whole of fitness industry at the moment. So Regan also is looking pretty damn impressive for 10 weeks out of this year's Mr. Olympia. Now we always pick apart all these IFBB pros, point out their weaknesses. But if you take a look at Regan and his strengths, look at those hamstrings and the detail that he has a little over 10 weeks out. And that is simply insane. That is absolutely bonkers. And if we think about the conditioning that he's able to maintain while slowly growing into the show, I must say this can be the very best Regan that we're gonna see at this year's Olympia stage. So we haven't seen the best of Regan just yet. Yes, his look from this past Cali Pro, that was superb, but he could definitely peak a lot better than that. Now as far as the amount of muscle that he can put on his frame, that is still massive. He can just continue to build up more muscle, more mass, without having to worry about blowing out his waistline. And I 100% think he's gonna look more and more aesthetic as he puts on more muscle. And the guy did make some good changes in his physique from 2023 to now. That being said, the Olympia this year, that is gonna be the most difficult bodybuilding competition of his entire pro career. So he's looking to place in the top 6, which simply isn't possible unless some of these other guys, they come in way off. The more realistic placing in my opinion, that would be top 9 or top 10, which is the same placing that he got back in 2023. But let me know what you guys think. How high can Regan place at this year's Mr. Olympia? So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.